Every morning here on WCPT, you are informed, enlightened, and entertained by our very own Stephanie Miller. She is bringing another live, sexy, liberal comedy tour in the very near future this Saturday to Washington, D.C. You can watch it from the comfort of your own home. It will be on pay-per-view. Stephanie is here right now to give us a preview. Hello, Stephanie. How are you doing?
It's my very own Joan Esposito.
Yes,
I know
indeed.
That you belong to Chicago, but I think of you as my very own Joan Esposito.
I'm always yours. Always have been, always will be. Hey, I was really blown away by this guest list, this A-list of guests you have in Washington. Jamie Raskin, George Conway, Olivia Troy, Jojo from Jersey, and Harry Dunn. Oh, my gosh, that's going to be amazing. In addition to Hal Sparks, John Fugelsang, and Frangela are already amazing.
Yeah. We just added Tara Setmeyer to the DC, who's also fabulous. You've probably seen her on TV a lot.
Yeah.
You know, Joan, it is amazing how some of these ex-Republicans, like Olivia Troy, you know, George Conway, I mean, they're like, you know, in some ways pushing back. You know, I was saying like David Frum and Michael Steele, like right to Joe Scarborough's face, as we're talking about not bending the knee and not obeying. And so,
yes, I thought that was a very interesting exchange. You know, on social media, a lot of people were saying, hey, you know, maybe Michael Steele should be doing the morning show. He seems to be a little bit more in line with our values.
I agree. No, I agree. You know, I keep saying it, Joan, every morning, but, you know, courage is contagious and so is cowardice. And, you know, in my opinion, and have, you know, the morning show on the liberal channel be the first ones to bend the knee and go obey in advance because, you know, I think that cowardice spread to ABC News, who settled the lawsuit, that they would have won. You know, Donald Trump is an adjudicated rapist. That is a true
and a convicted felon.
Right. The judge, adjudicated means the judge in the trial said what you did equates to rape. You know, just because the legal thing he got convicted of is sexual assault. I love that this is where we're at, Joan. Like that's some big flex to go, oh, he's only a sexual assaulter. I'm like, really? You know, and here we are with Pete Hegseth now. You know, we're just like, oh, my God, how much lower can the bar go, right?
Yeah, and the worst part is that after an initial hopeful tiny period window where it looked like Hegseth was going to drop out, you know, he doubled down. Trump, of course, admires that, anybody who's willing to, you know, own the libs. And now it looks like some kind of behind-the-scenes pressure has been applied to people like Joni Ernst, who were they were repelled by him. They were repelled by Hegseth. And now they're going to vote to send his nomination along.
This is just the beginning, Joan, of the bullying and Elon Musk's money to, you know, primary people. And, yeah, you have a woman, combat veteran sexual assault survivor who is now going to vote for this, you know, accused rapist, whatever you want to call him. You know, I mean, and that, by the way, he kept talking about meritocracy, you know, in terms of women not being able to serve in the military. I'm like, meritocracy, no one deserves this less than you. Like, you know, like no one's less qualified for this job than you. Like, what are you talking about? Like you're getting this on your merit? You're getting it because you're a Fox News host that will do Trump talking points, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just want you to know how much we enjoy your show in the mornings. You have some of the most amazing guests on your show. One of my personal favorites is Malcolm Nance. I love that man.
He was on fire this morning. I know, and you know
he's always on fire. I'm surprised you don't have to hose him down.
We're on. Yeah, I said thank you, Shouty McShaw. Say hello to everyone in Shouttown. But yeah, no, we're on YouTube now, and so I know stuff like Senator Sheldon Whitehouse called us and said he's been loving the show. And can he come on? And I was like, yeah, I love Sheldon Whitehouse. I mean, you know, Joan, just because we feel like there's nothing we can do about the corruption at the Supreme Court right now. It doesn't mean that I don't really admire people like Senator Whitehouse that's out there screaming about it still, and just saying this is not normal. This is not normal. We just can't normalize
And
this.
Stephanie, the worst part is that he's not even president yet. I think this is going to get so much worse before it gets better.
Like we've already lived through. It's like, oh my God, is the 4 years over? Oh God, it hasn't even started yet. Like it just feels like we've already lived. I mean, you have to understand, Joan. I'm out here in LA, and we are already in such a stressful, horrible apocalypse right now. And, of course, he's just making it worse. And this is what we're in for 4 years, is him lying, him being petty, vindictive, saying he's not going to help people in California because, of course, and you know what that's all about. Gavin Newsom's going to run for president, right?
Sure, of course.
And, so anyway, it's just, I mean.
By the way, are you okay? Are the fires anywhere near you? How's the air quality?
Yeah, I'm wearing a mask when I go outside, but knock on wood, Joan, but it's terrifying literally not knowing which way the wind's going to blow. I mean, knock on wood, I've been okay, but I'm terrified to leave my house and dogs Friday to go to D.C. after the show.
Oh, my God, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, I do it for America, Joan. But anyway.
My daughter came home for the holidays. She lives in Burbank. And every time she's booked a flight home, it's like, first of all, she booked a flight home and the fires erupted. So she moved it back. And then there was a little bit of a calm, and then the fires erupted. And her roommate, because Burbank isn't burning, but the air quality is awful. Her roommate and all the other friends we have out there, they've either evacuated into somebody else's home, or they tell her, don't come back. Just don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, Mark Hamill, who was, as you know, was at the Chicago Sexy Liberal show, which you were at, which was so fantastic with Governor Pritzker and on. He had to evacuate. Thank God his home, knock on wood, is still okay. But, he had to evacuate. So he's at his daughter's house. He and his wife are there. And so anyway, oh, my God, and, I've been lucky enough to have been to his home in Malibu, and I thought, oh, my God, you would not believe the amount of priceless stuff he has on his walls, like artists that have done Star Wars paintings for him, famous, like, oh, my God, just like irreplaceable stuff, and it's so I don't know, but it just really is horrifying, that we're up to 25 dead, and it's I like I say, Joan, the lies and the cruelty are just making it exponentially worse.
This is the first major disaster that I can remember. People not putting partisan interests aside and working for everyone's good. I mean, I think it's happening in L.A., directly in L.A., but the fact that so many Republicans are like, oh, Democrats caused the fire. Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass caused the fire. This, it's so cruel.
And the fire experts, as you've probably seen, all of them, Joan, have said there is no water system in the world that can handle 8 months, a fire hurricane after 8 months of drought with 100-mile-an-hour winds. Like, there is just no, that's the thing. Every single thing they're saying that we ran out of water and this and all that. They're all lies. They're all lies. It's water pressure. Like, imagine turning everything in your house, so it's just, anyway, but you're right. And it's not, what's cruel, Joan, is it's deliberate disinformation.
Yes.
It's not like,
it's not like they saw bad information posted on Facebook and they're reposting it. No, they're inventing this out of whole cloth.
Yeah, no, absolute lies that are so easily debunked. Gavin Newsom's had to set up a whole website to debunk all of, and Elon Musk was told to his face by the LA fire chief the truth, and he chose not to. That's when he dumped out of the live stream, and then he lied about When he was told right to his face that what he was saying was wrong, and he went on X and immediately put out this disinformation, and it's just, oh my God, Joan, it's not DEI, it's not, oh, there's no water, oh, it's like, first of all, for the first 27 hours, no planes could fly because it was 100-mile-an-hour winds, so that's obviously part of, the problem. But anyway, I hear one more ridiculous lie after the other. There's always, and there's a new one. One gets debunked, and they come up with some new lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk again about this show that you are doing in D.C. once you, of course, are sure that your dogs are well taken care of and head off to D.C. This is going to be like the show in Chicago. This is going to be live streamed, right?
Yeah, on pay-per-view. I mean, if you can join us live, if you're coming to the People's March or whatever, we'd love to see you at the Warner Theater. It's a gorgeous theater in D.C., and, we need each other more than ever now. We need humor more than ever. And, if anybody, the brilliance of Frangela and John Fugelsang and Hal Sparks, by the way, Chicago's own Hal Sparks and Chicago's own Francis Callier. And then, like you say, that lineup is just really, and what I love about it is bipartisan and all people that realize really the danger that we're facing. As you said before, we've got Representative Jamie Raskin and George Conway and Olivia Troy and Officer Harry Dunn and JoJo from JERS and former Republican strategist Tara Setmeyer, who is also an amazing woman of color that is, speaking. I don't know, Joan, whether we need to learn how to fight differently, but I swear to God, some of these former Republicans seem to model how to fight.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, you've got Jamie Raskin, who has been very blunt. Eric Swalwell seems to be able to take it to them. Chris Murphy, good God, I love Chris Murphy more than I've ever loved him before. Because he's coming out and he's saying, hey, we got to fight. Where are the Democrats? Come on, Democrats. Let's get going here, because that's what it's going to take. I mean, I've been talking about how when Barack Obama was elected, there was a Republican brain trust that met at a restaurant. And the whole thing was, what are we going to do for the next 4 years? And they came up with the plan that they were going to try to fight all of his legislation. They were going to try to make him a one-term president. Where are the Democrats? Where's the restaurant back room that the Democratic leadership is meeting in to plan out what everybody's going to do, what everybody's going to say, and how everybody's going to fight?
Yeah, and that's the point of fascism, Joan, is they want us to lay down and die. They want us to despair. They want us to check out and give up. And you're absolutely right. That's what's so what's so important right now, like WCPT and your show and all of the, what I call democracy warriors, truth warriors, because we lost this election, I'll tell you, for one reason, Joan, and that's, again, what we're in the vortex of in L.A. It's disinformation. Mm-hmm. Look. Economy Biden is leaving, as he gives his farewell address tonight. We didn't lose on the economy, Joan. We lost on disinformation about the economy. By every statistic, Joe Biden has turned an absolute S show that Donald Trump left. I mean, by every single barometer, and so that's the problem. If we lost, Joan, on real issues, but you know what? Like, for instance, if we were like, oh, no, we're for them doing trans surgery on kids in school without your permission. Mm-hmm. We're for patients eating pets. I mean, we lost a solid wall of lies that Donald Trump gets a certain percentage of the country to believe, which you and I would think, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, who would believe that? But it's like you watch Fox News. It is a solid wall of lie about the L.A. fires. It's infuriating. You're just like,
6 months ago, my partner Ray and I were making a home purchase, and the young woman who was our saleswoman said that she had been in the home in our neighborhood. She had been in the home recently of a woman who was buying some home remodeling stuff. And the woman told her, this is an older woman who doesn't have school-age kids, but told her, did you know the local school has an entire floor of classrooms that are just transgender? Did you know that?
Oh,
And the young woman looked at us and she was like, I'm here to sell this woman some really expensive stuff. And I'm just kind of looking at her and kind of going, good.
Is just so depressing. It really, I mean, that's the thing is you just feel like all the tweets, people go like, well, the price of eggs isn't going to be any better, but at least that one girl can't play badminton in your state.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
what tiny percentage of this even affects you or your life, and yet they spent $100 million.
But that's the Republican strategy. We don't want anybody to pay attention to Jack Smith's report. We don't want anybody to pay attention to the lack of qualification of the cabinet nominees. So let's get them all mad about transgender athletes. Okay, sure, there's only, like 20 at the college level, but let's get everybody mad about that. And they're not going to pay attention to the fact that all this other stuff is going on. And, oh, by the way, the price of eggs is still going up.
Yeah. I mean, God, yeah, and primarily because of bird flu. And guess who's coming in? Bobby Brainworm Kennedy. I'm just like, oh, God. I mean, it's. I swear to God, like one nominee is more horrific than the last one.
Yes. I know the ones that are really, really mediocre are starting to look like Thomas Jefferson. Marco Rubio is starting to look like, the one we can hang our hat on, for God's sake.
I know. Well, he's the only one that's even vaguely qualified for what he's nominated, so.
Yeah. Stephanie, thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this up, folks, by telling you that if you want to call into the station right now, 773-763-9278. The second caller, Lady B, will be answering the phones. The second caller is going to get a code to watch the live stream for free. You'll have, the live stream is going to be on sexyliberal.com. We have a code for you so you can sit this Saturday night with your feet up and a beverage in your hand and enjoy the comedy of John Fugelsang, Hal Sparks, Frangela, and the commentary of Jamie Raskin, George Conway, Olivia Troy, Jojo from Jersey Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, and Tara Setmeyer. It is going to be an amazing show, and thank you so much for sharing this with us here.
I know your listeners get it, but, it's only $20 to buy the pay-per-view, and it really supports this whole, ecosphere of the truth tellers and funny truth tellers desperately need now. Thank you so much. Please.
And especially since the mainstream media seems to be letting us down, it's going to be people like Stephanie Miller and independent media sources that I think we're going to have to rely on. Sign up for ProPublica, folks. It's a good site.
Yep, there you go. Joan, it was so great to see you in Chicago and your beautiful face.
Well, you're very kind. You're very kind. It was so much fun. It's always so much fun to hear you and your guests.
All right. We love you, Chicago. I'll see you Saturday on pay-per-view.
Take care.